Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here with myself and Lore Master of Sotek once again. This is Game 3 of our Best of 5 series. I've taken the Dwarfs this time, and Lore Master of Sotek has taken the Foul Skaven. So definitely in for an old-style grudge match. Let's go ahead and take a look at the army compositions. For my lord, I've got Ungrim Iron Fist, the Slayer King. Of course, he's unbreakable, has armor piercing, anti-large weapon strength. We've cut all his other abilities to make him as cheap as possible. He's also got 120 armor, 70 melee attack, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Only 35 melee defense, but still a very scary combatant, especially now that he gets knocked over less often, since they buffed the mass of all infantry lords. We've got one unit of Slayers in the sweeper position for some support. We've got the Flame Cannon, which you saw right at the start, and the Goblobber Regiment of Renown Grudge Thrower. We've got 4 Bugmans Rangers up front with 4 Miners with Blasting Charges just behind, 4 units of Dwarf Warriors with the Norgrimlings Ironbreakers Regiment of Renown right in the center. These guys with their beautiful red armor and shields looking very, very cool. They're massive, scary-looking face masks. They're ready to party. Let's go ahead and have a look at this Skaven build. You can see gobs being lobbed already. We've got a Plague Claw Catapult with the unit of Skaven Slaves just kind of here to bog things down. One unit of Plague Monk Censer Bearers, which we don't get to see too often just because they're a 110 point unit with only 10 armor, so they're very expensive and also very squishy. That being said, though, they've got great combat stats, heavy weapon strength. They do magic damage, but that armor piercing and this contaminated effect is going to be very useful against the dwarfs. We've got a unit of Rat Ogres in the rear as well, Skaven Slave Slingers, and one unit of Death Globe Bombardiers. Again, these do magic damage, but they do very heavy armor piercing damage as well. Got 2 Sword and Board Storm Vermin out towards the flanks. Going to be pairing that with the Plague Priest here in the center, who I'd imagine has Wither. Yep, looks like he's got Plague Breath, Blessed with Filth, Wither, and Vermintide. We've got Clan Rats with shields, 2 of those up front, as well as 3 of those, with 2 Skaven Slaves, and 1 unit of Death Runners for some additional armor sundering. Queek Headtaker is going to be the Lord here. Of course, he's got armor piercing, anti-infantry, going to be very good against the dwarfs. The Dwarf Gouger, appropriately named, gives 40% armor piercing. He's also got the Trophy Heads, of course. Stand Your Ground, looks like he's also got Verminous Valor for that explosion escape or pursuit. And the Warp Shard Armor, which is minus 18 armor in an area of effect. A very useful item, no doubt. And that's it, so let's go ahead and kick the battle into full gear as we watch the Battle of the Stunties here rage in the open plains of the MP Crossroads. Let's watch some cinematic action as these gobs are lobbed in here. You can see they're making some nice contact, and of course that leadership effect that they carry is going to be pretty good against the Skaven, all things considered. I probably should be shooting at either these Death Globe Bombardiers or the Plague Monk Censer Bears, though, as these Storm Vermin do not have armor piercing. That being said, with an Overcast Wither, you can get minus 60 armor in a huge area of effect. Sword and Board Storm Vermin will actually trade very well there because of their great combat stats. This unit, though, taking a lot of damage, down already about 20 unit models, so a really nice work done there. You can see Bugmans Rangers going to be opening up. We're targeting immediately on these Rat Ogres here. Excuse me. A little bit sick, guys, so I apologize about that. But one Flame Cannon shot making some solid contact, and then immediately going to be firing into these Skaven Slaves here. Should only take a couple of shots from the Skaven Slaves, and we're going to be able to rout only a couple shots from the Flame Cannon, and it should rout these Skaven Slaves off. But we're going to start targeting once these Skaven get into a big blob. We should be targeting in the center of the blob here. Blasting charges being wasted on Skaven Slaves a little bit here, but I was trying to get them on these Death Runners instead, and we are going to get a few really nice volleys on these Death Runners. It'll do a ton of damage there. The Norgrimlings Ironbreakers are also going to be casting their blasting charges into this backline here, just getting a ton of work done. Meanwhile, the Bugmans Rangers who have pulled back are going to be opening up shots, just all targeting on these Plague Monk Censer Bears. You can see them just taking a nasty amount of fire here, just all the blasting charges and crossbow bolts, and even these Death Globe Bombardiers getting involved a little bit. Meanwhile, over on this flank, these Dwarf Warriors who are fighting Clan Rats would win, but with the support of these Storm Vermin, they should get you know, they should get through relatively unscathed. That being said, these Plague Monk Sensor Bears are going to start to carve up these miners with blasting charges, and you can see we've got just a general retreat going down from the Plague Priest in the center, and although the Death Runners were routed off, Quick Head Takers also come in, and these Death Globe Bombardiers have also been firing in and doing a ton of damage to the center pocket. So very well played from Lore Master Sotek. We're getting the Flame Cannon firing into these Death Globe Bombardiers here, making some solid contact so far. The Goblobber likewise is targeting, I believe, these Storm Vermin out on the side. Only 59 unit models left, but we did finish off those Rat Ogres here with the Slayers and the Slayer King. Since my front line's buckling a little bit here, we've had to throw in the Norgrimling's Iron Breakers to hold things up. We're going to be doing a bit of a tactical retreat with these Bugmans Rangers here, trying to get into a better firing position. Ungrim Iron Fist is holding up this unit of Storm Vermin here while his Slayers go after that the Plague Priest on the Hoopty cart there. You can see a Plague Breath going down. The Slayers are going to be able to get in here, and Slayers fighting Plague Monk Sensor Bears is going to be interesting because the Plague Monk Sensor Bears don't have much armor. They'll take a lot of damage here. Likewise, we're going to get all the Bugmans Rangers targeted in on this pocket as well. You can see they're all going to be firing on that Plague Priest. Although he has 100 armor, of course, Quarrelers and Bugman's Rangers, all Dwarf Crossbow units for that matter, have relatively decent AP values. You can see the Flame Cannon dropping point-blank shots on these Storm Vermin, who have unfortunately gotten through to the Flame Cannon crew itself. Going to be cutting them up, getting them off their artillery pieces. Fortunately, my routing Dawi forces didn't quite rally in time to come help save the cannon here. The Goblobber, though, is still online. Ungrim Iron Fist is able to rout off those other Storm Vermin to keep this thing firing. The Bugman Rangers, although this Plague Priest has come back and engaged on them in melee, of course, they have charge defense against large. They have great missiles, so we're able to just turn and get this nice concave of fire, regardless of him occupying one unit. The Slayers are also coming back here. A beautiful shot there by that Plague Claw Catapult right onto those Bugman's Rangers. It's exactly who he wants to be targeting at this point, but the Slayers and the Bugman's Rangers here are going to do a lot of damage to this Plague Priest. He needs to get out of this situation. Looks like he is indeed going to rout there. Ungrim Iron Fist still hanging around, though. These Clan Rats with shields, unfortunately, are probably going to get in onto this Goblobber here, but we're going to be able to turn and fire and just... Ooh, man, that Death Globe volley just did a ton of damage to this unit. That being said, they didn't drop that many unit models. You can see these Bugman's Rangers are still at 56 unit models, despite being, you know, less than basically a third HP, more or less. Despite that, they still have so many unit models that they're going to be able to regenerate most of this damage back. You can see them all turning and firing and just wasting this unit of Clan Rats, dropping them very, very rapidly. We're going to turn and do the same here in just a moment to this unit of Storm Vermin. Some of my Dawi did rally in the back line, now fighting with the Storm Vermin here. Honestly, the mix of Miners and Dwarf Warriors here should be able to do okay. The Miners can deal the armor piercing while the Dwarf Warriors soak the hits. At least that's the idea here. But in the center pocket, we've got a bit of a duel going down between Queek Head Taker and Ungrim Iron Fist. You can see the Norgrimling's Iron Breakers also supporting this fight here, which means they're going to be soaking some of Queek's hits. Meanwhile, Ungrim is going to be free to focus all of his hits on Queek Head Taker, so we should be able to get the better of that engagement there. Fortunately, the last of the Slayers going down to the Hoopty cart there, which has rallied over on the far side. This unit of Dwarf Warriors, man, true heroes, just chasing down these Clan Rats and the Skaven Slaves, not allowing them to come back. Likewise, this other Dwarf Warrior that was on the other flank has held up very well against masses of Skaven infantry, up to 128 kills. Yeah, you can see the Dwarf Daka line just unloading onto these Storm Vermin, just mowing them down. And at this point, there's not too much that can challenge my Bugman's Rangers. You can see the balance of power is creeping more and more in my favor. And we'll just look up some of these cinematic action of these true heroes of the Dawi, the Bugman's Rangers. You guys know I'm a huge fan of this unit. They're probably, honestly, my favorite Dwarf unit. Have been since the King of the Warlord DLC came out. And for a long time, they weren't super meta, you could say. I've always thought they were awesome. That regeneration trait and the missile block chance makes them one of the best skirmisher units in the game versus other skirmishers. The fact that they have charge defense against large now and a lot of other things going for them, they're just going to be absolute masters. You can see Queek using that Verminous Valor here to try and escape. Ungrim had been pursuing him. Ungrim, get up, buddy. You still got work to do here. Queek's going to try and escape at this point, but we've got all these Bugman's Rangers here on station with nothing to shoot at, so we're just going to turn fire and start unloading all the shots into Queek Head Taker here. You can see him just getting absolutely mowed down, and at this point he just does not have the hit points to stand up against all this missile fire. Queek is going to go down to a hail of quarrels here. So with that, the Skaven leadership is going to pretty much chain route at that time. So that is going to be a victory for the Dawi. Grudges have been settled. And yes, indeed, very fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that. Well played, the Lore Master of Sotek. It was very close at the end of the day. Very neck and neck. But just the Bugmans Rangers, man, able to hold out in the end there. The guys are just such a good unit, honestly. In terms of the army breakdown here, 131 on these Dwarf Warriors and 170 on these guys. It definitely shows how much they just outclass low-tier Skaven infantry. I mean, Clan Rats aren't that much cheaper than Dwarf Warriors at the end of the day, and Dwarf Warriors will just put them in a can, no questions asked. So, really like these guys. Slayers did decently, you know, they did their job taking down the Rat Ogres and helping to take down that Plague Priest as well. Flame Cannon ended up getting 100 kills, but again, that short range means it's going to get inundated relatively quickly. 91 kills on the Goblobber, so less kills, but it was able to fire for a longer period of time. 63 kills on the Norgerlings Ironbreakers. They did very well in the center. And then, yeah, the two Dwarf Warriors out on the flanks once again. And then the Bugmans Rangers, of course, some nice kill total spread all the way across there. You would expect these guys to get a lot of work done. Considering how the battle went for my opponent, Lore Master Sotek here, one of those units of Storm Vermin you can see did very well, where they were able to get some armor sundering support and so on. They can definitely take these lower tier dwarf units to task. Likewise, 64 kills on the Plague Monk Sensor Bears, despite them taking so much missile fire early on, just goes to show how dangerous of a unit this is. You really need to focus them down if you do end up seeing them on the battle. And Deathglow Bombardiers definitely got some really good damage in, but they just weren't able to finish off unit models. I think that was the biggest issue for them. Like you saw, they got that nasty volley on those Bugmans Rangers, but they didn't actually take down any unit models, which means the Bugmans Rangers were just able to regenerate a lot of that damage back. So really a little bit rough there. You know, we're kind of experimenting, trying new things, but the other bright spot for Lore Master was the Plague Claw Catapult, of course, 62 kills, and the Plague Priest himself, 65, with Queek racking up 47. So very nice all the way across. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more Total War Warhammer 2 content every single day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.